What's going on, everyone? My name is Jeff, and welcome back to the channel. So, what I want to talk about, it was announced earlier this week that Joe Rogan's podcast was going to be moving to the Spotify platform, and this is a very, very big thing for Spotify to land. We're going to get into all the details of Joe's move to Spotify, kind of the payout it's going to get, and is this really going to make a difference in the stock in the short term? As a matter of fact, this would probably be a good time. Go down to the comment section, tell me where do you think Spotify will be trading at in the next 3 to 6 months. I'm interested in hearing that. We're also going to break down Spotify stock. We're going to take a detailed look at the fundamentals, earnings, all that type of thing, and come to the conclusion if Spotify stock is indeed a good buy or is it just running on the hype. Now, I'll be honest, Joe Rogan's podcast is by far my favorite podcast. I listen to it all the time. Yeah, I've been listening to Joe Rogan for about 7 or 8 years now, and I would say he is like the godfather of podcasting, okay? He's really one that took a small platform, built it into a very massively big platform. Now he is cashing in on a very big payday. I would also like it if you go down in the comment section and share your opinion with me. Do you like the move to Spotify, or do you think he has a better home here on YouTube? Are you going to miss him? Are you plan to go over to Spotify to catch his podcast, or are you already using the service? So we're going to get into all that, guys. Before we get started though, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate all the support, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So one thing is for sure, Joe Rogan certainly has a very entertaining show and podcast. Gotta say, love the 2 times Elon Musk was a guest. Those might be my favorite episodes, and especially if you are a UFC and MMA fan. However, one thing you will not learn in the JRE podcast is how to invest and trade stocks. So that's why I encourage you to check out Trade Alerts Pro, guys. It is the first link in my description box. We've made some really big investments over the past couple of weeks, made some big moves in some big stocks that I think are going to move up pretty high in the next couple of weeks and months, and I'm very excited for the outcomes. Make sure to check that out. Alright, so 2 days ago, on May 19th, it was announced that the Joe Rogan Experience was launching an exclusive partnership with Spotify. Obviously, this is one of the most popular podcasts in the world. It's coming to Spotify via a multi-year exclusive licensing deal. Now, right down here, this sentence I have highlighted, this is the one I think everyone is probably most concerned about. Like all podcasts and vodcasts on Spotify, it will remain completely free and accessible to all Spotify users. So there might be ads on it, similar to YouTube. I'm sure there's a pay-up service where you can get the ads removed. Joe Rogan Podcast launched in 2009. Obviously, it's been built the most loyal and engaged fans around the world. What really got me into the JRE podcast is being a longtime mixed martial arts and UFC fan, but it's also comedy, health, all these different subjects that he covers, and it's probably all the outstanding guests. You call him the modern day Johnny Carson. Now, bringing the JRE to Spotify will mean the platform's more than 286 million active users will have access to one of the culture's leading voice. By partnering with Spotify, Rogan and his team will enjoy the support of the world's leading audio platform. Now, how much did he get in this deal? I'm sure you've already heard about that. We're going to click over and cover that in a different article. Before we do, one last thing I do want to share with you. The JRE podcast will debut on Spotify September 1st of this year. So we still have a few more months where all of his content will be on YouTube. He'll still be uploading to YouTube. But on September 1st, that's when the change will be made. Now let's touch on this real quick. How much was his deal worth? Right here, guys, I'm sure you've probably already seen it on many different headlines, but it was worth more than $100 million. And the Wall Street Journal reported that on Thursday. So again, they get access to all the full library, which adds up to 1,500 episodes that weren't available on streaming services before. And keep this in mind, all of his podcasts will move off of YouTube and be exclusive to Spotify, okay? Being a content creator, I personally know a couple of workarounds, but that might be something you want to look into if there's any of his content that you want to keep in your portfolio before it goes to Spotify. Now let's take a really brief look at the stock's reaction. So this news hit around 2 or 3 o'clock my time on Thursday, which was 5/19. The stock was trading around $167 to $170. The news hit and the stock immediately ran to about $178 a share. The first thing next morning, this stock was well over $180, touched a high of $196, and now as I'm filming this video, it's currently trading at $192.74. It's seen nearly a $30 move up in the stock price just on the news of getting the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, again, I want you to keep in mind, to this point, it is all artificial. There has been no fundamental change to Spotify, but I think it is one of those things. It is kind of pointing to a future to come, okay? Spotify's platform will grow by acquiring Joe Rogan, but it's not going to grow anytime soon. It's going to take a while for all this to go through. So I would not be surprised if Spotify stock did trade itself back down to a little bit more of a reasonable level. Let's cover this quick too. Spotify has really not been trading in the stock market for a very long period of time at all, and now it's touching its all-time highs. Spotify actually IPO'd in April of 2018 around $135 a share, seeing very, very strong trade volume, and it grew pretty good over the first 5 to 6 months it was in the market. And then it just seen big swings down with the entirety of the market here in December 2018. Seen another big dip around September and October of 2019. So it does hold a pretty good level of resistance here around the $100 to $120 mark. And if you already own this stock, I'm sure your position is looking very good. What I want to focus in the rest of this video, let's look at some fundamentals, let's look at some earnings reports, let's try to put our heads together. Is Spotify going to be a good buy here? And what prices can we see it trade up to in the near to long-term future? So I'm going to look forecast out maybe 1.5 to 2 years is really my target here. And what I really want to point to here, it's not just the move of Joe Rogan going to Spotify, it's the future. All kinds of different creators can go to Spotify, and what this is going to turn into in the long run. I think it's pretty exciting. Again, I love YouTube, but I also like to see other tech companies grow, and competition is never a bad thing. It just makes these companies get better and work harder and give more benefits to content creators. So, you might not want to boil it down to, okay, Joe Rogan's on Spotify, that means the stock is going up. I think this is a really big move to make the entire platform grow. And you'll probably see musicians and creators getting a lot more offers from Spotify, probably big dollar contracts from Spotify over the next couple of years. That will definitely make the platform grow much bigger. Alright, so let me try to break this down as fairly as I possibly can. You're probably wondering why the stock price has bounced up and down. Over the past 2 years, I can probably give you a good answer. So here we go. We got Q1 2020 results. And this is user growth, monthly active users and subscribers. And as you see down here in the bottom left-hand corner, this goes back to Q1 of 2017. The Spotify platform is growing massively, going from 132 million monthly active users in 2017 and more than doubling itself by Q1 of 2020 at 286 million monthly active users, and you would think naturally that the stock would grow with it. As you can see down here at the bottom too, in 2017 at 52 million monthly subscribers, now is up over 130 million monthly subscribers, growing 31% year over year. Now with the addition of Joe Rogan, I'm sure you can probably project out that this platform will probably grow another 100 to 200% over the next 2 to 3 years. That really remains to be seen though. Let's not count it. Now, unfortunately, the earnings don't quite match the growth of the platform. As you can see here, going back to Q2 of 2019, not too big, they missed by 11 cents. Had a strong Q3 beat on EPS by 71 cents, and then really inconsistent here. Q4 2019 missed by 92 cents, okay? So I think what Spotify is struggling with right now is just rapid inconsistency on earnings. They're not solid enough on EPS and revenue growth, and that's really where the fundamentals come into place. They really don't have any fundamentals to speak of, and this company really does not make any actual money. And I have Spotify's fundamentals pull up. Profitability is negative. Return on assets is negative. Return on equity is negative. Again, keep in mind, this company is also fighting The IPO blues, I do know it's been listed on the market for 2 years, but stocks tend to trade kind of sideways, usually their first year or two on the market. Nothing new there. This company has no real fundamentals to speak of. The crazy thing is, though, right here, the part that's a little bit hard to believe, this stock does not get shorted very much. I think this number will continue to go down now after the news of acquiring a Joe Rogan podcast, okay? So that is one good thing. Keep in mind, I highly recommend this stock. I think you should want it in your portfolio. Even though the market got a little shaky with COVID-19, I don't think the economy was in any real trouble. That's where you might see some of these platforms trade down a lot. But as long as the economy is strong, these type of companies will be just fine. The high debt and low cash flow is not really a big deal when you're a newly listed company. Just keep in mind, you're investing in the growth of the platform. You're not investing in the fundamentals. So what are we going to do here? Do I think Spotify stock is a buy here at these levels? Do I think you should be investing it at $190 a share? Well, there might be better opportunities, and I'm not telling you not to buy here. I'm just saying that I personally would probably wait for a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit better of an opportunity to start building a position. Now, in 2 years, I can easily see Spotify trading around $250 to $300 a share. But they just have to clean up the fundamentals, they have to start making some money, and they got to improve on earnings, and I think that will come in due time. Like I said, this stock has held its level really well, has seen great resistance at the $100 to $120 levels, but right now, while it is in the middle of this $30 spike up, it's probably going to run to $200 or more. I might just be patient and wait for a little bit better opportunity to get in it. Keep in mind, we could still have more reaction from COVID-19, and the tough days are possibly not behind us. But if you have a zero commission broker where you can buy fractional shares like M1 Finance or SoFi Invest or Robinhood, many of these different platforms, I really have no objection to starting a position here. Just be ready to buy your position down a little bit on any major drop off. So that's all I got for the video, guys. Make sure to go down in the comment section and share your thoughts and opinions with me on Spotify stock. I'd be very, very excited to hear that. Thank you as always for watching the video, and have a great day.